Well, it's time for episode 396 of the 3 Point Podcast. And as always, we're presented by the Memorial Healthcare Wellness Center. Make sure you get in shape with a membership today. Follow the Wellness Center on Facebook. Also, download them on their app. Also, I want to thank our other great partners. They include Blackstone's Public House, Great Lakes Apparel Company, Jacobs Insurance Agency, Kori and Associates Real Estate Services, Nelson House Funeral Homes, Nichols Painting, Success Group Mortgage and Servicing, the Shiawassee County Fair, and ALS of Michigan, and also our sponsor Spotlight, AZee Branding Solutions. They empower businesses with comprehensive branding solutions that drive growth and success. Partner with AZee Branding Solutions to grow your brand, from A to Z. Well, guys, we took a little break, mainly because I took a vacation, and it's been a little while since we chatted, but as I was saying off air, this is the longest trip I've ever taken. I mean, a 2-week trip, went out west. I mean, it was just fantastic.
Yeah, a 2-week trip is a long time. I mean, we've taken, like, when we go back to Michigan, sometimes it ends up being about 2 weeks, and we're busy. I know you'll get into a little more what you guys did, the mileage you put on your rental car. But by the end of that trip, even if you're going around seeing stuff, seeing whether it's family or sightseeing like you were doing, it gets to a point where you're like, I just want to sleep in my own bed. Like, you're having a blast and it's amazing. But after a while, it's like, all right, it's time to get back home into my comfort zone.
It only happened the last day, actually, to tell you the truth. I mean, the last day I was a little tired of talking. I just wanted to come home, get in bed, like you said. But just that last day, and that was mainly because it was the plane ride from Vegas back home, and we had a 4 a.m. shuttle bus pickup to get to the airport, so we didn't get much sleep. And you get definitely jet lag for at least a day or so on a long trip like that with 3 time zones away.
Right.
Last day of vacation is honestly one of the worst days, especially like you said, when you have an early flight the next day. It's like you're not even, you could be in Hawaii and you're really not even there. You're just thinking about the hell that's coming the next day, which is traveling. So I can definitely understand that. So, I mean, can you walk us through the trip? I mean, I'm not even sure. I saw you posted a few pictures. Where all did you guys hit?
Yeah, I'll give you the kind of the thumbnail sketch of the trip. We flew into Vegas. First couple days we're in Las Vegas, and the second night in Vegas, we made our appearance at the Sphere and saw the Wizard of Oz. You were talking in the last podcast about this extreme theater screen that you went to. This is the most mind-blowing thing I have ever seen in my life. I mean, I'm not kidding you. The Wizard of Oz, I've seen that movie probably, I'm 69 years old. I probably have seen it 60 times, 60? That many times. I mean, I used to watch it at least a solid 50. I'll tell you that. I used to watch it every single year, man.
Okay.
So what I'm getting to is going to the Sphere and seeing it in that whole, half round circular production. It's like seeing it brand new. I mean, it was stunning. I mean, you've seen the Wizard of Oz, both of you have, right?
Yeah. Not 60 times.
No.
Yeah.
But the tornado and cyclone scene, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it blew my mind. Totally blew my mind, because it's blowing wind on you. It's the speakers are just blasting this storm, and you feel like you're right in the middle of it. I mean, it's that incredible. It's I don't know what you would call it. It's an immersive type of situation. You're right into it, man.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. And another thing
with the Sphere, sorry, because
go ahead.
Honestly, the Sphere is awesome. So you walk in and it's like you feel like you're just like walked into a spaceship. And then did you get is there like concessions there? And are they like so how did they do the movie? I'm pretty sure it's like half of the Sphere is the movie, and then the surrounding parts is like accent from the movie, like trees if they're in a forest or that type of thing.
That's what I was going to ask. Cause if it's that big and, say you're looking here and like, say Dorothy do you have to turn, and look all over the place, or is the movie for the most part is in front of you?
You got to turn. Well, if you want to see the side stuff, like Jared said, the extra trees and things like that, you do have to look left to right. We're all pointing, look at that over there. Oh, look at that over there. there were trees.
There's a munchkin hanging in a tree. Or
Yeah,
wasn't that one of the
the
rumors?
flying monkeys.
Yeah.
They actually had like little mannequin monkeys flying up there. I mean, it was crazy. And you look closely, like the trees that threw apples, you could see ants climbing up them. I mean, it was that vivid.
Wow.
It was one of the most, well, 100% the most incredible movie viewing experience I've ever had. And
so you've been to the planetarium in Flint or Lansing, probably, right? We used to do field trips.
Yeah.
So it blows the planetarium out of the water, is what you're saying.
Not even in the same zip code, man. It's unreal. So if you ever get and from what I understand, the concerts there also blows people away. Like the Eagles, I'd love to see the Eagles there.
That'd be cool.
But
so I don't. We don't talk about. I'm just curious. What I could Google.
Any questions? Fire away.
What's the cost of admission for something like that?
It was like it was a little over $100 a person.
So a concert ticket price nowadays, that's about what it is. And
and it's a full experience. I mean, like I was talking about the trees throwing apples. Well, they actually have foam apples come down from the ceiling that people can grab for souvenirs.
Cool.
My wife got one, and my sister got one as well. And there is concessions there, so get ready to pay for that. But
right.
Anything we did, we paid for. I can tell you that right now. But really, the highlight of the first part of the Vegas trip was great. And then the next morning, we got up, drove through Death Valley, drove on the west side of the mountains up towards Yosemite, and spent the night in Fresno. And then we did Yosemite the next day. And as far as national parks go, that one was definitely on my bucket list. And I could see why. I mean, it's everything people talk about. We came through this one section. It's called the Tunnel of Trees or something. We come through this tunnel, and as soon as we get out of it, all four of us in the car just go, whoa, because we're looking right at El Capitan and Half Dome. Right. And, it's just mind-boggling what this country really has to offer as far as national parks and beauty. It's incredible. I would just say, before you ask another question, I would just say Yosemite is one of the top two highlights I had on the trip. It really was.
What I mean, when you were there, did you feel like you're like alien? I don't know if that place is known for aliens or not. It seems like maybe, but were you like, man, this could be where aliens are, or a Bigfoot, or did you feel a sense of the supernatural?
I did not get a feel of the supernatural. Just the beauty of it, you just soak in, and we spent the full day there, and we did put on plenty of steps, but it was just a mind blower. And then from there, we went to the San Francisco area for 4 nights. So we had a tour lined up for Alcatraz. We did Alcatraz. That was pretty amazing. I mean, you saw the actual cells, the actual prison, man. We walked all through it. It was a tour. We saw where the 2 guys escaped that were never found after that. We saw where the Birdman of Alcatraz was. We saw where Al Capone was. I mean, it's very interesting, and it's fallen apart. I mean,
I was going to say,
I have one comment, like, this is just a simple political comment. I think the president has said he wants to get Alcatraz to be a viable prison again. There's no way. There's just no way. It'd have to all be torn down and a new prison put up. And I don't know if they'll do that, because it's a national park. It's historic,
Yeah, I've seen some people talk about that it's like too far gone, that it would have to, like you said, it almost have to be completely torn down and reconstructed. And this is a different conversation, but like, what's the point of doing that at that? Right. If you have to destroy all of it and rebuild it, it's kind of like whatever. But I can't imagine you talking about supernatural vibes up at the national park, Jared. Did you get was it like a little eerie walking around Alcatraz, just knowing some of the stuff that went on there back in the day? I mean, I've heard, you watch those shows where there's like, ghost hunters or whatever. Right. And it's always the prisons that send the weird vibes.
No, they actually, as part of the audio tour and part of the prep before you even went into there was a couple cells allegedly that, you can still hear noises and groaning, we didn't catch any of that, but you do get that eerie feeling, My wife actually, she wasn't a big proponent of going. She went as part of a team, but she really didn't want to see any of it. But it was creepy.
How long is the tour? Are you after like an hour, were you like, all right, I think we like kind of got the gist, or was it that fascinating and that cool? And then did you check out the baseball field?
I'd give it a 2-hour thing, but you'd seen all you needed to see after a couple hours, so that
part of the cool part too is riding the ferry across the bay, right? I mean, it's probably got to be pretty cool views of the Golden Gate Bridge and the city. That's probably part of it, right?
Oh yeah. Oh no, the views are incredible. I mean, I've got a lot of good photos of Alcatraz coming in and the city of San Francisco coming out. And I will say this, for any of our listeners that never been to San Francisco, I've always had a warm spot in my heart for Pittsburgh as a beautiful city. San Francisco might be the best. I mean, I don't know if they cleaned it up specifically for the Super Bowl, but it had a bad rap before that. But I mean, it's just an unbelievably beautiful city. It really is. In fact, after the Alcatraz tour, the next day, we took a full day tour, went to Muir Woods and saw the redwoods, Sausalito.
How are those? Those look awesome.
They are awesome. They're incredible, man. They're the size of them. You just can't grasp it unless you're there standing next to them. So that was cool. And then we did we had a 4.5 hour van tour of San Francisco. That was really neat, where they told us all the things all the highlights and stuff. We did cable car ride up the hill and, the typical tourist thing. And then we decided after San Francisco to drive down to LA via the Pacific Coast Highway. So that was neat. We saw there was this one beach, Pimento Beach, I think, something like that, where we pulled over and there was 200 sea lions all on the beach, just kind of laying there lazy, fighting with each other. I mean, I've never seen anything like it.
I remember we went out there. We did a similar trip when I think I was in 8th grade. We did a similar trip in San Francisco. It's Fisherman's Wharf.
Yes,
I think is in San Francisco, and there were same thing, hundreds of sea lions. Yeah. That's one of my memories is seeing all those sea lions laying out at that place.
Yeah, one of my favorite spots on Fisherman's Wharf was just eating dinner. We ate at one of the it's labeled as the best seafood place in San Francisco, and I could see why. It was incredible. It's called ScoMo's, and it was awesome. Fresh fish that we don't eat fish every day, but that was the real deal there. So we made it to LA. We you'll like this, Jared. We did our typical things. Went to the Griffith Observatory, but we decided, we're pretty morbid. We're Dateline fans and whatnot, and our favorite topic that you like to talk to me about, O.J. Simpson. We went.
What'd you do with O.J.?
Well, we went by O.J.'s house, his estate, and then we went by the actual murder scene. As morbid as that is, and that was kind of creepy because
you're there, and yet knowing how big of a when is the next time you're going to be out there?
Exactly.
So it's you're gonna So is there a plaque or what does it look like?
No, they changed the addresses. You can look online for the address on Bundy, and OJ's address, but they changed the address. I think OJ's house got tore down. They put a new one up, but it still has the greenery all around it. So we saw exactly where it was, and you could kind of get the feel for everything we saw on TV. And then the murder scene, Nicole lived in a condo with a gate. I mean, it was just like you remember on TV. That kind of creeped me out, to tell you the truth.
I wish you would have went past that on your tour bus, because the tour guide probably would have been talking about it, and you probably would have just been fact checking everything. Well, actually, you would have ended up taking over the tour and talking about the OJ house for that 10-minute segment. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What is that? Did you check out any other celebrity houses, or was it? You just had to see the OJ spot with your own two eyes.
Well, when we were in San Francisco, we happened to see on tour Robin Williams' house. That was kind of cool to see. And then when we were back down in LA, we decided to do the Santa Monica Pier, but then after that, we wanted to go up to Pacific Palisades. That's been in the news. They had that big fire.
Right.
And so we drove through it, man. You talk about devastation. I mean, they are starting to rebuild it, but the big controversy is the insurance company's real slow to pay the homeowners. So the rebuilding has been very slow, to say the least. But to see the devastation of the fire, I mean, in Pacific Palisades, right next door to Malibu, and it's right on the ocean, so it's crazy. The fire got all the way down there, and I don't know how many people died, but quite a few, and many, many, many people lost their houses.
Right.
So we did a few things in LA, and then we ended up finishing the trip. We drove to Palm Springs. That's another place where a lot of rich Hollywood types live. And like you said, Matt, we're not going to be out there probably anytime soon. I've always wanted to see Palm Springs, and it didn't disappoint. And then from Palm Springs, We drove right smack down the middle of the desert, the Mojave Desert. Took kind of a back route. You talk about desolation. I thought Death Valley was desolate, man. The Mojave Desert there was hardly any cars along that route at all. That was a little creepy too. You didn't want to really
100%.
break down.
Yeah, you're looking at your gas gauge the whole time. Like, are we good on gas? Are we gonna make it?
So that pretty much tells the trip in a nutshell. I do have one final tidbit I'll save for Tedertainment tonight, but as we wrapped up Vegas, and I know, Jared, you had a little bit of a special thing. Your dad came down to visit. You saw Ethan Quinn coach basketball. That must have been pretty cool.
Yeah, it was. Went to Stephen F. Austin and caught that game. Lamar unfortunately lost, but the conference tournament is is the granddaddy of them all for these mid-major conferences. I mean, you got to win that, and then you can get in the tournament. So basically, everything's just building toward that. It was good with my dad here. We were watching the Super Bowl. I think by the last day he was here, he was ready to be back. We were like going grocery shopping and getting stuff like ready for the week. I think he was just ready to go home. Or it was like what we were talking about. I think he had like a 3 a.m. flight the next day. So just sit and think about that. It's like you're ready to be out. I have a weird kind of catch up. I'll just go for it. It made me appreciate our sponsor, the Wellness Center in Owasso, that much more. I really do love that place, and people in Owasso in Shiawassee County area are lucky to have it for this type of experience that I went through. So I've been working out every day the last few weeks. I got to get in shape for my brother's wedding. I got in shape for my last brother's wedding, then I got fat again. So now I got to get back in shape for my next brother's wedding.
That's
how it works. So I've been working out, and I have a great gym that I work out just in my apartment complex. Got everything I need. The only thing it doesn't have that I just love, and I've always wanted to be a part of a gym that has it, is a sauna and steam room. So I'm like, all right, let me look. I actually got a flyer in my mailbox from this gym called EOS Fitness. I'm like, all right, I'll go here. It's like, whatever it is, $20 a month. Got everything I want, sauna, steam room. It's all I want. I don't really even care to work out there. I'll hit legs there once a week. That's about it. Otherwise, I'll just work out in my gym that has nobody here.
Right.
So I go there on Saturday, and I walk in, and it's like, I'm like, what am I walking into? Like, I seriously think I just walked into like Globo Gym, and White Goodman sees me and like puts on a full force sales pitch on this place. I'm like, dude, I just want to sign. Like, I walk in, hey, can I get a membership? Yep. All right. Sure enough. Then comes this guy, like basically a salesman / trainer. All right, let me give you a tour. Let me walk you through everywhere. Like, this place is wild. I've never seen a gym. It's so slam packed. It's crazy. Walking through, like 30 minutes later on this tour, he's showing me all this crap I don't care to see. Here's this machine we have that will teach you good form. And like, oh my God, dude, I seriously just want to get in here, take the 5 minutes to sign up and go into the sauna and get out and like never talk to these people again. So then finally I have to go sit at this guy's desk for like another 20 minutes. He's walking me through, and it's your classic sales pitch. I've been through enough of them in the last year. It feels like, we'll slash the prices here. We'll do this. You can have your first fitness training for free, this and that. I'm like, dude, I'm not interested. Just like, no offense. I don't want a personal trainer. Like I would never do that. I don't have a problem with people that do it. I just couldn't.
You're basically like,
so uncomfortable.
You're like, I'm paying $20 a month for the sauna. That's all I want.
That's what I wanted to say. I didn't say that, but it's like, dude, it's like, my God, he's a nice enough guy, but holy crap. Finally, I'm like, just about done. And then I'm like, oh God. They're like, yeah, well, we got to put you through like, this is essentially a humiliation ritual I had to go through. We got to put you through a full body scan and, and weigh you and all this crap. So I'm literally going through this. They're like, I'm grabbing handles that are measuring my muscle mass. I'm sitting on the scale, like to get my fat. Basically, all it did is tell me like 8 different times how fat I was. Like, you're fat in this way. You're fat in that way. You're fat in this way.
Like you don't have a mirror, right?
Right. And like, this is what's kind of annoying about fitness. And this is why it's like, this is like Globo Gym or something, dude. No, unless you're like LeBron James, there is no reason I need to know that my right arm is 0.1 millimeters bigger than my left arm. Like I'm going through this humiliation ritual for like 10 trainers, by the way. All of them are ripped. Finally, I get through this whole goddamn thing. I have to do this welcome workout. I'm like, dude, I don't want to do the welcome workout. I'm not doing it. They're like trying to get me to do this welcome workout like right now. I already had worked out before I went to the gym. I just wanted to get in the sauna. No, I'm not doing the welcome workout. Like I literally got to the point where if I have to do the welcome workout, I'm just not doing the membership. I'm not doing a welcome workout.
Right.
Finally, I'll go, all right, fine. So I go in there in the sauna. I swear to God, the sauna's got 8,000 people in it.
Oh,
and
no.
I'm like literally waiting outside the sauna for 20 minutes until I finally get in there. And I'm in there. I just reading my book. You know what's funny? And then so finally I'm like, let me look this place up. Like, this is just a bizarro place.
Right.
I look this place up. First thing that comes up is this Houston Chronicle article. Here's the headline. For better or worse, the Houston EOS gym has become a real club scene. Houston's most packed gym is also the city's busiest social club for singles. I'm not kidding you. That's what this felt like. It was weird. It was like I was walking into like a nightclub just disguised as a fitness center. But with all that being said and done, I'm there. I've gone the last 3 days to the sauna.
You've got your sauna.
I'm in now. I guess it is what it is. The hard part is done.
Now the hard part will be if you ever want to cancel that membership.
I was thinking the same thing.
Well, that's
good luck with
that.
that.
Makes no sense. You got to do it in person. So
It's like a timeshare.
It'll
Right.
suck. I thought about that as well, and that's also why I'm just like, all right, I guess I'll just.
Basically,
you're alpha gym.
Yeah, you're locked in for life. You've got that membership, or until your credit card expires, one or the other. But
that's a good way to cancel things. Just cancel my card. I did that with my last debit card, just because I had so many prescriptions. I didn't even know the passwords to them. I was like, I'm just going to cancel my card, and it wiped the slate clean. It actually worked pretty well. But you know what's funny about this place is there's something about saunas. This is no shot at you, Ted.
Okay.
The boomers, they are flies to a fly trap in these saunas, man. I'm reading my book, and of course this gym that is literally all like perfect like models of like 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds. Like somehow I'm just in the sauna. Of course, there's a boomer in there. And I'm reading a book. Oh, what are you reading? Oh, I'm reading this book about presidents. Oh, you know what you should read? The Count of Monte Cristo. You should read The Count. Yeah, I probably should. That's a classic. And then of course he makes a comment like, yeah, you notice it's a little hotter in here. I'm like, yeah, I guess I didn't really notice, but yeah. That's because I complained last week. I told him to turn the heat up. You're welcome. All right, man. Thanks.
It's funny. I don't care if you take a shot at me for that, because it's comical. On our trip, we realize that we are a progressive commercial. That is so true. The guy, I could just picture this guy sitting next to you, just making small talk, chatting. I mean, it is something that our generation,
small talk and asking for any deal. If you're at the front desk of a hotel, like what kind of deals you got? Can we upgrade, or what?
Do that all the time. Absolutely.
Yeah. So that was my week. I mean, it wasn't really, you traveled like the whole world and saw everything. And that was my big thing is basically I felt like Peter LaFleur in Globo Gym, man, just out of my element. So
there are times with, it's Ted, you did sales your whole life for the most part. And, it's people make it's an honest living, people do really well with it. But man, sometimes you do want to, if you're in a situation like that, Jared, you're like, I know I'm going to sign up. I want the sauna.
Exactly,
I don't need the sales pitch. Like, just give me the paperwork. I'm signing up and then I'm in. Like, I've got a gym at my apartment where I'm going to, like, sometimes it's like, can I just do that? Because now you're making my experience. Now you're kind of like making the experience bad,
Yeah. It's tough. It's salesman. You got to be a different breed. You probably felt like maybe not an asshole, I wouldn't say, Ted, but you got to be pushy as a salesman. Make them say no a few times, really.
Well, you got to at least ask for the order. I mean, that's the way I was. Okay, I absolutely was not one of these hard salesmen. I mean, I know exactly what you're talking about. We sat through a timeshare thing that was the same thing, and in fact, on this trip, we're in a little town called Solvang, and there was this cosmetic shop. Okay, we have 2 women with us, and they kind of suck you in. They have the woman is sitting out front. She's got this little tray of stuff, and it looks like it's candies. Well, what it is, it's little soaps. And you say, well, what is it? Well, that's kind of cute. And then she says, well, come on in. I got something to talk to you about. She went through the whole sales pitch you just talked about, man, and she was good. She was really good. But I was never that type of that type of sales. It gives salespeople a bad name, really.
Yeah.
I mean,
I had a similar. I was at Target. We went to Target the other day. It was raining, so
I already know where you're going with this. I think you got to steer clear of these people.
Well,
I had never experienced this in Target before, but so we're walking by. It was raining, so we were like, let's just go to Target. We got a few things to get. We'll just go walk around, whatever. And so we're going to the toy aisles to let the kids just kind of look at toys. And we're walking by the electronics, and there was a salesman there. I had never experienced this at Target, but he was a cell phone. I don't know if it was T-Mobile or what, but he was talking to someone as I was walking by, and I just kind of I was kind of eavesdropping. I could tell they were talking about cell phones. And then as I'm walking by with my daughter, he's like, hey, what's your cell phone service? And I was like, what's that? And he said, what's your cell phone service? And I said, oh, Verizon. And he was like, oh yeah, what do you pay? And I was like, I don't know, man. I'm on a family plan with like 12 people. I was like, I don't really know. And he was like, well, won't you bring up the plan for me? And as my daughter's trying to get to the Barbie aisle, she's, looking at me like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
I was like, no, man, honestly, I'm good. And then he's like, oh, okay. All right. He's like, well, who do you get your internet through? And I was like, I think we got Spectrum. I'm like, the whole time I'm like inching away,
right.
Like, slowly. I was like, we got Spectrum. He's like, oh, how much do you pay? I was like, honestly, man, I think it's only $6.5. I was like, I'm good, man. And so finally, as I'm like just turn and walk away, I can still hear him trying to say something to me.
Dude,
which
crazy.
Again, I understand he's doing his job, but
I think that's the biggest market right now that they give you the hard sell. I mean, I can't tell, I'm a Spectrum subscriber for my TV. I get bombarded all the time for the phone thing, switch my service to their phone service. It's crazy.
They're at Target. It's a new thing that I've it's happened to me a couple times, and now it's like a lesson learned. You never walk directly past that aisle.
Don't make eye contact, right?
Yeah,
right.
It's crazy, dude. They're relentless. It's like there'll be times where it's like sometimes they'll set up at the Kroger, like in the produce section, smartly. Like they know everybody's got to get produce, and I'm like, I'll just tell my girlfriend, like, I'm not going in there. Like, if you get what you need to go, I'm not going in the produce. Like, I'll just stand over here. Like, I'm not going over there because I'm going to get brought into this and I'm not doing it. Sure enough, she goes over there. I see my girlfriend talk to her for 5 minutes. I'm like, I knew it. That's why I said not to walk over there. And so it's crazy, dude. Did you, with this lady at the cosmetic shop, did you try to like recruit her to try me here? Get her to come across as a good salesman? No.
But she was good. I mean, she was from Ukraine. She had a cute little accent, and it was eye stuff to make you younger, right? So
right.
the girls were hooked right into the whole conversation, and it got to the point where I said, "Hey, come on, we got to get going." So we're walking out the door. She said, "Wait a minute, I got a free voucher for you." So she walks us 2 stores over. And a guy is set up with a massage table, right?
Oh, geez.
And she goes in the back room there and brings him out. And he goes, "Oh, hi, where are you from? Michigan, blah, 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 blah." Do a little small talk. He says, "Well, I just so happened to have a free appointment available right now. I had a cancellation."
Just so happened.
Well, at that point, I had enough. I said, "Hey, we're here for just a short period of time. We're out of here." And the Ukrainian girl got a little offended with me. She got a little upset.
Huh.
It's the way it goes.
Yeah, it's annoying. I don't know. You feel bad. It is. You
do.
You got and you would think at that point they got to be just so used. If you're a good salesman, you got to be willing to accept that defeat and just out of the next right back out, and there'll be somebody else walking by in 5 minutes.
Yep. And like I said, she was good. She had the whole lingo and everything down, man. She knew what she was talking about. She had every answer, so that was good. But that was just one little thing of the trip. It sounds like we all had a pretty good little break, and now we're back to business, right?
Back to business.
All right.
College basketball, full swing, right?
College basketball, NBA All-Star game. We're going to get into a whole bunch of sports stuff right after this. All right, guys, let's start with the NBA All-Star game. I was a little out of touch with things on my trip, but I did get a chance to see the All-Star game, but I didn't check into the whole All-Star weekend. I know you had something you wanted to get into, Jared. Why don't you start it off?
Yeah, I'll go on a soliloquy. I mean, watching that dunk contest,
you actually
made me realize I'm officially an old head. I am the guy yelling at the cloud. I am the one who thinks that the basketball isn't as good as it used to be. Mm-hmm. And I know other people will point to the All-Star game. Oh, they played hard. They tried. That wasn't the format. That wasn't anything Silver did. That was, I think, players realizing like, man, we're getting like ripped apart online right now. Like we need to almost for the sake of our league, like we need to give a little extra effort than maybe we normally do. But the Silver thing, I'm not a Silver fan. I've said that. He's a good guy. He seems like a great guy. He does not seem right to be commissioner. This is crazy. Like you think about all the stuff that the NBA is dealing with right now, tanking problem, load management problem. There's sponsors on the jersey now, sponsors all over the court. Right. There's no defense being played. Seems like teams aren't even trying half the time. The officiating seems to be getting ripped more than anything I've ever seen. The partnership with gambling companies is everywhere. All-Star Weekend is essentially unwatchable. That used to be appointment television, the NBA dunk contest, not even long ago. Under David Stern's era, Blake Griffin. I remember where I was watching that with all my friends. how awesome that dunk contest was. The Dwight Howard dunk contest. This wasn't long ago. The NBA Cup and play-in tournaments, we don't like it. I was blown away by these numbers. The World Series averaged 5 million more viewers last year than the NBA Finals. That's crazy to me. I don't know. To me, it starts with silver. And here's what I saw. I think Bill Simmons made this comp. He is not a wartime general. He is a peacetime general. It was easy for him to take over right when LeBron was peaking at his prime and coast that out for the next 8 years. But now that LeBron is like fading, it just seems like the NBA is at a crisis point. And changes need to be made. And that was, I've never felt that this strongly until I watched Jace Richardson, who I don't even know if he ever dunked at Michigan State a single time. I'm not even kidding. Right. Did he ever have a single dunk? Is in the dunk contest. Of course,
he's definitely
he's an ass of himself. Go ahead.
He's definitely no Cohen Carr, but
no. Like, say what you will about Roger Goodell, it's probably a good sign that all the players like hate your guts, like, and all the coaches hate your guts, and all the owners hate your guts. Everybody hates your guts. That means you're probably like cracking a few skulls. And I feel like everybody loves silver, except the fans. Like, it feels like the fans are we're the ones that have like taken the heat of the lack of changing, or the changes that have tried to make these players play hard, like where it's all toward catering toward them now. It just makes me kind of sad to think like David Stern. Think about your Adam Silver. Adam Silver was number 2 for I don't know how long, 10 years probably. And he had all this time to think about the changes he would make to the NBA. And what is he's like made the most weird changes. Like every year All-Star Weekend, he's talking about some weird AI jersey or AI aspect. He changed the trophies and made them weird. Like he's worried about all the wrong things, where we need somebody that's going to make some tough decisions, like getting like cut down on 15 games, get rid of the NBA Cup. It was not a bad idea. And I don't even necessarily hate the NBA Cup, but we got to change the NBA. It's lost its way. And there is no LeBron coming through right now. Maybe it's bigger worldwide, but selfishly, I'm an American. I want to, like, all these teams are in America other than one. Like, it should be a big time product for us. And I feel like it's just getting left in the dust. I don't know. Am I being too harsh?
That's good. Good soliloquy.
No, I think the regular season is really the last few years it's taken a hit. This year, I feel like it's even more because, I mean, like LeBron, he had an injury, but, he also, obviously, he's 41, but, like he load manages. He's not going to be eligible for any end of the season awards. Jokic is like a few games away. If he misses a few more games, he won't be eligible for any end of season awards. Again, he had an injury, but more teams, the Jazz and more teams are getting penalized for not even playing their stars in the fourth quarter and load managing so many. The Lakers, there's been games that they just don't play Austin Reeves, Luka, and LeBron. And it's like, can you imagine if you paid to go watch the Lakers the one time they came to your city and you don't get to watch any of those guys? I mean,
preach, brother, preach, man.
If it's a legitimate injury, okay, I get it. But, it's changed so much. I saw a stat. I mean, we can rip the dunk contest all we want. It's funny hearing Jared say, but you came up, Jared, in a good time. Like you said, the names you listed, Blake Griffin, Dwight Howard, these are the superstars of the league when they were in the dunk contest. Even like a Zach LaVine. I mean, that's one of the
at least he was good at dunking.
He's a star. He's not a superstar, but he's a star player. But the last 3 dunk contest winners, I mean, the dude that won it this year, Kashad Johnson.
Who is
the 3 of us? Any of us heard of him?
No.
I mean, I love the NBA, and I had to like really be like, who the heck is this guy? The last 3 dunk contest winners have played a combined 47 career games. No one cares about this. And Jared, this guy more than like Mac McClung is the guy that should be in the dunk contest every year. Mac McClung has kind of bounced around the NBA. He's been in and out, but he obviously made his stardom being a dunker. Yep. He released a video after the dunk contest of the dunks he would have done if he was in the dunk contest. They were 27 times better than whatever the heck we saw in the dunk contest. And it's like, that's what it has become. The 3-point contest I used to think was cool. I mean, it's still fun. But even that, I didn't even watch it. What I see, Dame Lillard won again. It's just kind of like, okay, cool. It's just, it's lost its stardom. And, I think the players did play a little harder in the game. They made it USA versus the world. I don't know if during the Olympics. Maybe that made it a little interesting. The Olympics are going on at the same time as that. The format is interesting, but I do think the players played a little harder because they've been getting ripped so hard, but I really genuinely don't think they care at all. It's almost like just give them a 2-week break in the middle, like the Olympics, and let them come back. That would help the load management thing, maybe, if they knew they had a mid-season break, and, maybe they'd come back and just be healthier, but it's not what it used to be. And I don't know what to fix it. Cause I used to like Adam Silver too, but he's talking about having an end of season tournament for like the bottom 8 teams to avoid tanking. He even threw out having no NBA draft, that all the rookies coming into the league, it would just be free agency. Like you got all the college players just coming to the league just as free agents. Where they'd all go, the Lakers, the Knicks,
or New York,
the Clippers, like that. So, I mean, he's, like you said, Jerry, he's trying. It's almost like he's being a little too progressive. It's like the NBA wasn't broken. Why are we trying to do all this stuff? So it's tough. Cause like I said, I love the NBA, but the regular season is tough to watch.
Do you think it does all stem back to when Stern got out? That's where the whole change started. It seems to make sense.
I've seen some people, sorry, Jared, to cut you off. I've seen some people talk about that it's become too much of a players' league.
Yeah.
And you can see that. I mean, these contracts are absolutely insane for some of these players, and they let the player with the load management and stuff. It's become, they've given the players almost too much power.
Yeah, it's, Silver wants to be buddy with the players. Stern, I feel like the players freaking hated Stern. And Stern would add some, he had the dress codes on the bench, and Stern wasn't perfect, but at least I felt like he was willing to step out on a limb with decisions, and whether the players liked it or not. Like, have the players ever spoken out against Adam Silver ever? That's a problem. No, that's not a good thing. That's
because look what they're getting paid with him as commissioner.
Right. Yeah. And maybe he's worried about growing it, across the world, which, it's like huge in China and all this other stuff. But the product is severely lacking. In the U.S., there was 5 million more people watching the World Series. I don't remember anybody even talking about the World Series, which that's a little bit concerning. Like, I don't even think that baseball is that big right now. It's time for some serious changes. LeBron masked a lot of it. I mean, in his prime, just LeBron being such a dynamite star, there is no LeBron coming. They thought it was Anthony Edwards. No, LeBron is one of a once in a generation. Like, there'll probably be another one in 15, 20 years, but it just, I don't know. I just was super depressed watching that All-Star weekend. There's nobody in the stands. There was nobody in the stands. The Intuit Dome looks awesome, and there was nobody in the stands at this thing.
It could bode well for the Pistons down the road, the way they've structured their team. I mean, they could be a 4 or 5 year dynasty, knocking on the championship door. I think just the way they're set up. The rest of the teams in the league, it's a mess. I will say this. I will make one comment about the All-Star weekend. Really, the only thing I saw was the All-Star game. I didn't realize your points are made. It's probably accurate. They heard all the grief. They played pretty hard, and I didn't mind the format. I didn't think I was going to like it, but I kind of liked the fact that, they played their 12-minute game. And at the end of those games, when they were close, they were playing real hard, I thought.
Right. Yeah, they picked it up a little bit this time. I wonder if it was, they've been hearing it a lot in the public that they don't care at all. The U.S. versus the world thing, I think, played into it. I mean, these guys still do have pride. We can rail on them all they want. They don't want to get shown up. But I will be curious once. I mean, Curry didn't play, but like once Steph's gone, once Durant is gone, LeBron, of like that last generation of guys, when it is just Ant Edwards and some of these other young dudes, what it'll look like. But
Cade Cunningham is going to get his chance, I think.
Oh yeah,
to be one of those guys. Absolutely.
I didn't hate the format. I hated the world versus USA. Like, even a lot of the players, I saw Cade Cunningham said that, like, can we just go back to East versus West? Like, this is about tradition. Like, I don't know. I did like the quarter aspect. To me, it's like, I saw somebody threw the idea out there, and they're not going to get rid of the NBA Cup. Seems like they put so much freaking resources behind that. But if you got rid of the NBA Cup and just use some of that prize pool money and just said the winner of this game gets, each player's getting $200K or something like that. Like, I know they're rich, but I don't know, man. I really do think that they would put in a lot more effort if the prize pool was similar to the NBA Cup.
I mean, they're rich, but if you told them you get a $200,000 check, I mean, they're going to be playing hard for that,
Right. Oh yeah, definitely.
So I don't know. It's the All-Star game. I'm not sure that many people. Again, to me, it was a microcosm of just the NBA as a whole right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's like and you're right. The playoffs are still awesome. To me, it's like why are we unable to? Yeah, why is it just unable to be replicated? Or even like you watch the Olympics, the Olympic basketball, the rules, how they officiate it. It just seems like such a better product. It's like, can we adopt some of these similar things that we still know that there's good basketball out there. I mean, obviously these guys are the most talented in the world. The product isn't resembling of the athleticism you're watching. These are the most athletic athletes in the world in any sport. And it's how is it so like, it's like torture to watch sometimes. It's crazy.
Yeah. Fair statements for sure. Well, let's go from NBA basketball, unless you got another comment on it, Matt, to college basketball. We got a new number 1 in college basketball, and it's the Maize and Blue. Man, they're looking good still.
There's not much negative you can say about them. I mean, I think we started talking back in November, when they were blowing teams out by 30. And I know at least me, I just kind of kept saying it's only November.
It's a long season.
It's only December. Then it's only January. Well, here we sit. We're recording on February 16th. And basically every metric, if you looked up any metric in college basketball, if you're a stats nerd, Michigan's at the top of basically everything. They're playing at an insane level right now. They have a tough week. Tuesday of this week they play Purdue, and then they play Duke on Saturday. So we'll see. I mean, even if they split those and go 1-1, it doesn't mean that they're overrated or something, but those are two really big tests.
Tough road games.
Yeah, both road. I mean, the one is neutral in Washington D.C. versus Duke.
Okay.
But I mean, still, it's not
a lot of Duke fans there. It's not that far from, that far from Duke.
Right. Yeah. Even though Michigan is technically, I think, the home team, they're the host of game day, I think. But yeah, it's still on the road. Yeah. I mean, I think it's one of those things right now. I saw someone, I forget who it was, one of the analysts say you could take Michigan's 4 bench players and then one of the starting bigs, Johnson or Mara, and that team would be a tournament team. And I think that's pretty accurate because they're deep. They go 9 deep, and I don't care who comes in. You feel good about whoever comes in. Size, experience. We talked about McKinney taking the next step. Yaxel obviously is the guy. They had a stretch of 7 games recently where each game they had a different leading scorer. Yeah, I mean, that's insane depth, and it's everything you want going into the tournament. But we know the tournament is, you never know what's going to happen, but it's all there.
Is his comment concerning it all, Yax? I mean, that seems to be the big thing on social media, saying F Purdue, this and that. I mean, is that just a nothing story?
I didn't even see that. What's the story? I didn't even see that.
Maybe you can explain it better than I can.
Well, someone was recording him, his buddy or someone was recording him, and he basically went off on saying, when we see Purdue, we're gonna, belt to ass, and F Purdue, and went off. And I did see earlier that Dusty May came out, and he was asked about it. And he said he had a long conversation with Yaxel, and that Yaxel felt pretty bad about it, and was like, I just got caught up in the moment, and I wish I wouldn't have done it. He apologized, all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, is it a nothing burger? No, because it's bulletin board material.
If it's needed, yeah.
Right. So we'll see how he plays. Now, if he goes out there and lays an egg, but.
Yeah, they don't have a flaw. I'm not too worried about Purdue. I think Purdue's been kind of struggling. They had a big win this weekend, but then next Friday we're at Illinois, who's number 8 right now.
Yeah,
it's officially college basketball season, this team it's like, if you haven't been watching Michigan and you're a Michigan fan, like, I don't think there's many that are out there, but this is as good a chance as we had in our lifetime. Obviously you guys have seen a title. Matt, were you alive for?
No, I was only like 4 years old, but
yeah. Ted, you've seen one. Matt, kind of. This is the best chance we got to see a basketball title. Is this team? I don't see a weakness. I saw Bill Raftery said, like, basically a bad pregame meal is the only thing that makes him sick that he thinks could stop this team. I did see that Joe Lunardi has Michigan and Michigan State in the same bracket right now. Michigan State is a 3 seed and Michigan is a 1 seed. Then Iowa State, who has a big game against Houston.
I don't like that
right now. I would love. Here's where I'm at. Even if Michigan loses that game to a Michigan State, wouldn't it be just the ultimate story to see those two play in the tournament? I'd give anything for that. I really would. Even if Michigan lost that game, it would burn. But the just how heightened that game would be insane. Right. So I'd be looking forward to that. Speaking of Michigan State, I mean, what is your guys' opinion on this whole Jeremy Fears thing? I feel like it's kind of died down the last week. He's tripping guys. He's punching guys in the balls. He's a good player. but seems to have a little bit of that Grayson Allen type
right.
mindset to him. What do you guys think of that guy?
Well, all I'll say is I didn't really know the depth of how allegedly dirty he was playing, but it's definitely become an issue, and obviously,
Right.
it might be affecting his mind because it's out there in the press and that's what everybody's talking about. So, and obviously they went into Wisconsin and laid an egg,
Right.
So I don't know what the real deal is there.
Yeah, is he a dirty player? I don't know. He definitely has a pretty good lineup of these plays that, like you said, the Grayson Allen or now the Draymond Green type of plays that we've seen. But now he's just made it to where if he does have a questionable, looks like he tripped someone, everyone's going to lean the other way and think that he did trip him, or
I'll be all over it.
Right. Maybe in tournament time he might pick up a technical or something because of that. So that's where it comes in, and that's Izzo's trying to play that he was basically like Fears has been set up for this. He's trying to play his cards right too, because he can probably see the writing on the wall. But Michigan State's good. Michigan State's that team. You just never know. They could catch fire in the tournament and make a Sweet 16 run, or because they just don't have much else outside of Fears, they could lose in the second round, But
it feels like they're coming down to earth. I mean, they've lost 3 of their last 4. Yeah, they beat Illinois in that stretch, but I mean, like you said, they got killed by Wisconsin. Like Wisconsin to me is the exact type of team they're going to run into in the tournament, and there's a reality where they just get shot out of the gym. I mean, they go through so many spurts of being unable to score. They're tough. They are a good team. They have good chemistry. Fears, when he's on, is one of the best players in the country, and I think Izzo is obviously one of the best coaches and has gotten a lot out of this team. But I honestly think that they cap out at a Sweet 16. If they make an Elite 8, I think that's a huge victory for Izzo. Yeah. And knowing Michigan State, they'll prove me wrong. They'll run to the Final Four. That's just my gut. That's what I've seen. To me, it's a team that's a good team, but just is missing scoring. And come March Madness, where Michigan has 8 different guys they can turn to, where Yaxel's having an off night, some other guys can pick up the slack. I don't see that if Fears has a bad night, and I think he's going to be due for one at some point in the tournament. So that's my opinion on Michigan State. I think they had a good run at the start of the year, maybe over exceeded expectations. They're down to what, 10 or 15 now in the AP.
Yeah.
I saw 2 different lists. I saw one where they were 10. I saw one where they were 15. I don't know which one's real.
Right.
But yeah, I just think that's right where they are. They're top 20 team. I don't think they're a Final Four team.
Yeah.
Seems a fair assessment to me. Well, let's move it over to another little topic. We're just around the corner for baseball season. The Tigers have made a few moves. Spring training's underway. And it's good to see JV come home. I wish it would have been a couple of years ago, but still, it's for this team. And with the status of Skubal probably gone after this year, they got to make a push. This has got to be the year. And I think personally, just at least on paper, the moves they made with Valdez, Jansen, the couple rookies that might contribute this year, this is their year if they're going to do it, I think. I don't think Skubal's coming back, but make a run at it this year for all you can.
Yeah, you hope that's what they're doing, that they see the writing on the wall that Skubal's not coming back, and they're saying, listen, we got to go all in, try and win one now. They signed Valdez to a 3-year deal. So, that might be anticipating Skubal leaving. Well, at least now we've got Valdez for a couple more years if Skubal does leave. The Verlander thing clearly is a sentimental move, but it's also at the end of last year, the last month and a half, he was one of the best pitchers in the AL. So AL, in the NL.
He was, Giants, I don't know.
He was over there. So in the NL. But anyway, Verlander was actually a good pitcher down the stretch last year. So you're not getting MVP Justin Verlander anymore at this point, but that's not what they're expecting of him. They got Tarek Skubal for that. And, they've got Valdez for that. They need just the veteran. They need the guy at the end of the year that in a game 1 of a series, when Skubal's, you can put Verlander in there and he's going to battle and give you 6 or 7 good innings. And he can still do that and lead. He can be a good clubhouse guy. He's going to be a good clubhouse guy. I saw an interview with him. He was talking about, he's already in Lakeland. He was talking about all the vibes and the feelings of going back to Lakeland and seeing all the people and, remembering all the memories. He's got a big old mural up on one of the walls down there. He's like, oh yeah, that's me from 10 years ago or whatever. So it's just, think about Comerica Park. His first start at Comerica Park is going to be a sellout. And, you just hope the big thing is you hope he at least pitches like okay, and like stays healthy. You don't want to see him burn out. And like you remember when Chauncey came back to the Pistons at the end of his career and was just a complete shell of himself. It was kind of like, all right, that wasn't any fun.
Right.
But no, they've made the moves, and they've added a couple guys, like you said, the rookies. The rookies are the ones that I'll be curious if they bring them up at some point. But the dudes that are down in the minors, but it's all there for the Tigers.
It should be fun to watch. And Jared, you still must have a real soft spot in your heart for Verlander, seeing him pitch that no-hitter.
Yeah, he was the biggest star in Detroit in my childhood. It was Verlander.
Oh,
he was freaking awesome. This was a great signing, even if he's horrible. I mean,
Right.
think about where we've allocated this type of money to Kenta Maeda, to Alex Cobb.
Right.
I don't even think had never even touched the mound. Like, even if Verlander is horrible, at least it's entertaining. Like, if he comes back and it's fun storyline. I hope that it wouldn't be fun, but at least it's something to follow. And it's I'd rather watch him be bad in a Tigers uniform than Kenta Maeda or somebody of that level. Like, it's just such a good signing for the sentimental value. And like you said, I still think he's got something left in the tank. I mean, I was actually kind of surprised looking back at his numbers. I mean, this is ERA. He had one bad year in 2024 with the Astros, where 5.4 ERA. Other than that, 3.8 last year. 2023, 3.15, 3.3. Like, he's just pretty solid. 1.75 in 2022 with the Astros. Then you have this isn't going to happen, but who knows? I mean, if he has a great year this year, that turn back the clock. I mean, he's creeping up on 300 career victories. He's at 266 right now. So if let's just say he gets 10 to 15 this year, and he looks good and stays healthy, it's like, let's keep coming back, and let's have you get that in the next few years.
Well, this is what it does too for someone like Ted. Me and Jared, we aren't local anymore, but for someone like Ted, like you said, a random Tuesday, Wednesday afternoon game, night game. If it was Reese Olson on the mound or a Maeda, I'll stay home and watch on TV. But if it's Justin Verlander, you got nothing else going on and weather is beautiful, that might make people be like, I'll pick up a ticket. I'll go watch Justin Verlander pitch one more time.
Hell yeah.
So if anything, it has that.
Well, and we might get lucky. I mean, let's say he goes through spring training healthy. I mean, Jared's brother, Josh, is getting married. We're going to a Diamondbacks Tiger game. That's like the second series, I think, of the season.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that. I was wondering the possibility of him starting in opening day against the Texans.
Maybe.
Which is a night game. That's kind of wild. It's kind of cool. That can't be right?
I think they already said that Scooble's going to be opening day, but I saw someone lay out.
Like the not opening day, the home opener. Yeah.
The home opener. Yeah.
I saw someone lay out. Game. That wouldn't be.
That's what it says on their schedule, but I don't know. That's what it says in the schedule.
No way possible.
That's what I'm saying too. I'm just looking at it right. Oh, hold on. Why does it jump from March 31st to May 1st? I don't understand why the schedule does that, but
home opener is going to for sure be a
day game. Yeah. As for Framber Valdez, I mean, people have been asking me about what I've been hearing about him. What's weird is I haven't heard anything about him from Houston. I don't know why.
Yeah, 1 o'clock.
No, to me, I don't know why I haven't really asked about him. To me, what that tells me is I think they were just kind of done with him. Astros fans, maybe they read the writing on the wall. Like, he ain't coming back. It just is what it is. Probably best for both sides to move on. It seems like the concern is because of that viral video last year where he kind of crossed up his catcher after giving up a grand slam, that maybe he's a bit of a head case. But to me, I think he's going to the perfect locker room where it's not going to be a problem. He's not going to be an alpha by any means in that rotation. You got Verlander, you got Skubal. I think Flaherty even's got some swag. Hinch is the best dealing with players in this type of situation, in my opinion. I think how he's handled Baez is like he's gotten the most out of Javier Baez that any manager could. Yeah. He has a history with Hinch, obviously, and then I saw my favorite part. He's got a 5-0 record and a 2.3 ERA versus the Guardians. So seems to be kind of a Guardians whisperer. So I don't hate that. But
the Tigers. Go ahead, Jared.
One other thing, did you guys see the new alternate uniforms that are coming out this year? It's lame how they got leaked through the video game trailer. Right. Which, my God, the Tigers should be pissed about that. But they look sweet. The orange ones definitely look very cool. Those Lou and Tram style jerseys, I think, are the best the Tigers have had. Right. Other than their classic whites. So it's time to get those damn horrible black Motor City jerseys.
Oh, they're horrible.
Get those out forever.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Those had their time. The Tigers won some games in those, and it was when the team was good. But my God, it's time for these new alternates to kind of take over.
Yeah, they definitely sold some merch with those. I've gone to the ballpark few times last year, and they're everywhere for sure.
Oh yeah, people love the alternate, the City Connect jerseys, or because they have them in the NBA too. Those they need to bring back the '80s road, the gray with just the Detroit across and the
block letters across.
Block letters across. Yeah. Just make it simple. Those are so cool. The Tigers, so they start on the road, 6 games on the road out west, and then it is a Friday afternoon home opener versus the Cardinals. But so nice. 6 games. I saw someone lay it out. They could. Skubal obviously will start the first game. Right. They could work it out to have Verlander start game 2 and then be slated for that home opener. And they were like, how awesome would it be, the home opener, Justin Verlander on the mound,
Right. It'd be cool. I think they'd be wasting their ticket sales though. He's going to draw a big crowd, even if it was the second game, not the opener. The home opener is going to be a sellout no matter what.
No matter what. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's good to have him home.
Got you ready for baseball season, man. It should be an awesome season.
Yeah, if we can figure out where the hell to watch the games. I mean,
I don't even know what the deal is there. Where are we going to watch the Tigers?
I mean, there's MLB streaming or something. You have to subscribe on MLB.
It's a bummer, man. A lot of people I work with in Detroit, I don't know, what the future of that looks like is up in jeopardy. So I'm worried about that, obviously, and that's most important. It's a bummer. I always the FanDuel, obviously all these have their kinks, all these apps, all these streams have their kinks, but I always thought that the people that were doing it are true Tigers fans did a good job. I don't know who
100%
will be doing it. I think we all maybe you don't watch every pregame and postgame, but I think we all like having the option of that, especially after a big game. Or I tell you what, I was locked in when they were sliding hardcore last year to the postgame to see postgame interviews with the players and stuff like that. So I don't know if that will continue with MLB. I really don't know. That would be my hope, is that it does, but I don't know. That would probably be the biggest thing we'll notice. Is that might be gone, the pre and the post game shows. Which, like I said, probably a lot of people don't tune into those, but I like the idea that they're there.
Me too.
I think I saw that they're people like Ted who still have a cable subscription, there might still be a local channel for if you're in the local market. But for someone like me who's not, or now, Jared, we'd have to pay for the MLB streaming or whatever. But
well, they ought to decide this pretty damn soon. It's right around the corner. They ought to have some
they announced it's on the MLB app, but I guess I don't like that. Like I said, I think it is $19.99 a month MLB app. Yeah. That was my first question when I saw the news is, okay, well, what does this mean for pre and post game shows? What does this mean, for a lot of the talent? I mean, I know they said that Benetti and Dirks will be back, but what about everybody else? So we'll see.
Right. Well, we'll see. If it's a $20 a month thing, I may wait till later in the season. I might listen to early games on the radio. We'll see. Right. I like listening to Dickerson. So before we wrap up this segment, I guess we should chat about the Super Bowl just a little bit, even though it's a little bit old news now, but kind of was a boring game. Seahawks, 29-13. Big news for me. I think I shared with you guys, man. I won $500 on the first quarter.
Oh, I heard about this. Of course. You have the craziest luck with this type of stuff, man. It's crazy.
500 bills, baby. 3-0. You should have saw my wife going crazy at last couple plays in that first quarter.
Well, on squares? You had squares going?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I had 3-3, and the Patriots punted on basically at midfield on a 4th and 3 or something.
They did. You're right.
Which was a microcosm for the rest of the game. They just were so conservative. It was crazy. Right. It was a bummer. It was a dud of a game. I thought the commercials weren't nothing really to write home about with the commercials. Obviously, the big thing was the Bad Bunny halftime show. And I thought that the show was actually pretty good. The set was amazing. The production value obviously is A+. The camera shots, Bad Bunny is awesome. I made the joke. Obviously, the Happy Gilmore 2 thing. He was awesome in Happy Gilmore 2, so he's gonna be awesome in this. To me, this is just maybe the language barrier was a bit of an issue for me, just for enjoying or knowing what was going on. It was entertaining. I mean, the costumes were amazing. The dancing was amazing. Not knowing any of the songs and not knowing what he was saying to me was a barrier. Maybe more of a barrier than I thought it would.
I think it was a barrier to anybody that doesn't speak Spanish. There's no question. It had to be a little bit, right?
Right.
I will give you my viewpoint right now on the Bad Bunny halftime thing. So we're out in San Francisco area, and we're trying to decide what we're going to do for the game. And we decided Joe and Jenny's hotel, we were a block apart from each other, and they had a really nice setup where they had an 80-inch TV in front of a couch, and they had the bar right over to our right. So we said, well, we're just going to watch it right there. We'll get pizza and we'll watch the game right there. And if, we'll try to get a seat so it's not too crowded. So anyway, it comes close to the game time. We're the only ones there. We're the only ones we're only ones in that lobby area other than the workers. And let's face it, the Hispanic workers are there. They're the cleaning staff,
Right.
the front desk. You're in California. So there was probably 20 workers behind us. And we're watching the first half of the game. Bad Bunny comes on. It's halftime. They're still back behind me. And I'm going to tell you guys, I've kind of become kinder in my old age. And it was a boomer thing. Okay, Bad Bunny's starting to make his appearance. I turn around and I wave to all the workers, says, come on up. They all come running up to the back of the couch. And that halftime was, I was stunned. It was awesome. They're dancing. They're singing. I don't know a word they're saying, but they're having the best time in their lives, man.
Yep.
It was, I was getting chills because it was a simple kindness gesture. Come on over. Let's watch it. And it was awesome. It was, as far as the halftime entertainment, yeah, I didn't understand it, but it was a good set. He danced around. He brought out Lady Gaga, who sang in Spanish. Ricky Martin. Okay, for 20 minutes of my life, I didn't understand what was being said. So what? That's the way I looked at it. I enjoyed it so much because we had the whole group behind us just really getting into it. That's America. And the funny thing is, I've seen so many posts, and I don't care if people, get upset because I say this. It's just a halftime show, people.
Right.
Why do you get all worked up about it? Is it that big a deal?
I mean, that's part of it. I mean, people love to get worked up about a lot of stuff. And we've said it before, with any halftime show, people are going to hate on any halftime show,
Absolutely.
even if it's an American band or, an English speaking artist. Now, let alone you throw in a Spanish speaking artist, and there's going to be some people getting all worked up. And that's my thing too. Your story right there, I think, is part of why, in my opinion, people should appreciate the halftime show is the inclusive part of what America is supposed to be about. And, the American dream. I mean, he talked about it. I saw interviews with Bad Bunny talking about he dreamed of performing something like the Super Bowl halftime show. He wanted to be a musician his whole life. And it is, it is what it is at this point. Performing at a Super Bowl halftime show is almost like a pinnacle if you're, a music artist, right? I mean, winning a Grammy, he's won a Grammy. If you do some other stuff, you have a music or a movie about you, like Eminem had 8 Mile, maybe that'd be up there. You win an Oscar or something like that. But you perform the Super Bowl halftime show, that's like, I've made it. I've performed Super Bowl halftime show, and that's what I saw out of it too. Is that should be like an inspiration for anyone. Somebody who came from his background, worked his way up to performing at the Super Bowl halftime show. It should be inspiring for anyone. Yes, of course, the language barrier. My wife and I were enjoying the show. We were talking about, this is incredible. This is awesome. Like you said, Jared, the set was amazing.
It was.
Right. It was tough to understand what the music was. That wasn't going to make us turn the channel to some other one on YouTube or something like that. We weren't about to do that. It was entertaining. That's what I always say about these things. It's entertainment. Were you entertained by the show? I was. So.
Absolutely. And, and to each their own. If people have a problem with it and want to change the channel, go do it. But for me, I enjoyed it so much just because of the atmosphere we had, humanity. I just loved it.
For sure. That's cool.
You should invite him over. I mean, who doesn't like football? You should invite him over for the first half of the football game.
Well, I didn't think of it. That's a good point. I didn't think of inviting them over, but they were still watching it, and it was a big screen, so that was no big deal. Yeah, but I want them to get the close-up view.
I flipped over to that the Turning Point thing at as soon as that, because that game was such a dud. As soon as the Bad Bunny halftime show ended, and I was like 2 violinists or something playing.
Oh, I saw that.
It looked like the worst show I've ever seen. I mean, I think it was overblown, the amount of people that were, quote unquote, going to watch that. And I actually think it ended up having a decent viewing, maybe just because the buzz around it, I guess. But yeah, again, it was a good show. It just was a different show. It just was, like I said, I was entertained, and it was 10 times. It's a horrible Super Bowl where about 5 minutes into the game, you're like, all right, just get to the halftime show. Like,
exactly.
It was such a bad game. But
I got to ask one more about that. So you're in San Francisco. Where'd you order pizza? Please tell me you didn't get like Domino's or something.
Oh,
you found something local, right?
Local for sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We had local cuisine for sure.
Not that
All right.
not that Domino's is bad. I'm not hating on Domino's, but it's like when you're somewhere like that, you find somewhere local.
Oh, for sure. All right, let's take a little break and come back with the prep spotlight and maybe a short Tedertainment Tonight to wrap this thing up. All right, guys, I got a few things here on the prep spotlight, so let me jump right into it. Corunna boys basketball won their first game of the year for their rookie head coach Logan LePage last Wednesday, downing Byron as Noah Rose led the way with 14. The Cavs celebration, though, a little bit short-lived, as Friday night in front of a packed warehouse gym, Owasso boys beat Corunna 47-29. That was the Trojans' fifth straight win over the Cavaliers. It was an electric night in the gym. You know, we did the three-man mic. We called it the three-point broadcast. It was fun to be a part of. Really, they get it rocking in that gym, and the pep band stayed for the whole time. And, you know, Owasso's band and pep band is probably the best out there, I think. I mean, it's just tremendous. Their percussion, you know, they had probably 12 drum sets getting the crowd going. It was really good. So it was a fun night there. The CHS girls made it a split 47-30 as Gracie Termere led the way with 14. And as I mentioned, it was Hall of Fame night at the OHS gym. They honored former swimmer Chris Bauk, who this was pretty funny. He repped his class of 71 by wearing his varsity sweater. You guys probably don't even know what varsity sweaters are. You know, varsity coats.
I feel like I've seen pictures.
Yeah, it was a blue sweater with the big O on it. And, you know, I think he had 4 stripes on the sleeve to show he lettered 4 years. I mean, it was
that it still fit on him.
Yeah, it was classic. Well, he ended up with quite a career. I think he had a military career after being an all-state swimmer back in 71. So that was cool to see. The class of 2008, Rachel Hedinger was honored as a track and field dominator. The 90 and 91 girls basketball teams of Doug Waldy were honored, along with John Crusoe's 1994 baseball team, who made it to semifinals in Battle Creek. Had a chance to talk to Bruce Cameron at the game. He loved our posting of the semifinal game and a couple other games from that year on our site. He said the whole team listened. So that's kind of cool to know.
That is cool.
Also, Freeland, the boys hoops team, beat Frankenmuth 54-48 Friday night as Tristan Comer put up 19 and Wilson Huckabee had 18. So Johnny's Falcons improved to 17-3 overall and 8-2 in the TVC. I guess had quite a contingent of local people went up to that game. Did you see that, Jared?
Yeah, it was kind of cool. It's funny. I was watching on the NFHS feed, and I could just, it's like I felt like I could see them all talking after the game to Johnny and stuff. I'm like, I feel like I can hear this whole conversation, like just from the body language and who's talking. I'm like, I know exactly like what's being said. Like it was just kind of cracking me up watching it. But that was a huge win. I mean, Frankenmuth was unbeaten, and then they beat them. So probably a good chance they could see them later on in the tournament, maybe even at Wasso's the Warehouse in regionals. So
that could be.
It's the best time of year for high school basketball. You got one more week, and then we're on to districts. And once districts is going, man, it's a roller coaster ride. It's nonstop games until you're eliminated. So I can't wait for it.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch for sure. Also, our 3-point podcast prep spotlight performance of the week. Owasso sophomore Eli Worthington competed in the shot put at CMU recently and took first place with a throw of 57 feet 5 inches, a new personal record. That's pretty outstanding.
Yeah,
only a sophomore, man. He's going to be an anchor on their football team coming this fall as well. So congrats to Eli. Now, you guys asked for it, Jared mainly. We talked about esports, right? Get this. 6th grader Cannon West and 7th grader Alex Rushka took first place in the championships, and I have no idea what this is. Super Smash Brothers. Do you guys know what that is?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's like Ultimate Fighter except with like Super Mario characters.
It's like a 2-player
1v1, like 1v1 or 2, like 2v2 battle. You fight them.
So I guess they absolutely dominated the field, playing some of their matches while losing a single life. Do you know what that means?
It's pretty amazing. That's like, I mean, I think you get 3 lives, so that means that's like beating somebody by 30 in an NBA game or something. That's basically the equivalent of that.
So esports, man, they're going to be future varsity standouts, it looks like. So that's pretty cool.
You see, Ted, your generation when you were raising kids playing video games, you said these video games are going to rot your guys' brains. Look at that.
You know what is going to rot people's brains, though, that I've noticed more and more? It's those cell phones. I mean,
oh, man,
everywhere you go, people are just looking at their cell phones. Myself included. I'm guilty. You know, everybody does it. You know, nobody has conversations anymore other than us progressive boomers.
So this is yeah, we could go on a long tangent about this. What about at the Sphere? Did you know, people talk about at concerts, all you see is people recording the concert, and you're like, why can't you just put the phone down, enjoy the show? Were people doing the same thing at the Sphere?
Yeah, unfortunately, there were some doing that, taking pictures or just running some video. I mean, you can't get the feel for it when you're videoing it on your phone anyway. It's impossible, but you still see it. You know, it's today's day and age. You know, that's the way it is. That's funny though. That little thing that you put in your pocket, it's a lot of stuff you can look at on there, right? I mean, it's just basically your mini computer.
Well, you know what is like, if I was in the Sphere, like one of my first thoughts would be, man, imagine playing video games in here. Like,
oh my God.
So like, don't be surprised if these kids are playing in some, Sphere gaming tournament in 10 years at the Sphere.
I wouldn't doubt it.
And there's 80 different games going on that mega screen.
You know, you're speaking of the Sphere. I had this thought. You know, they opened it up with the first movie, The Wizard of Oz. Okay, I get that. I mean, that's an all-time classic movie that just became more classic. What other movies do you think would be cool to see? Like Avatar, Titanic?
Yeah.
The first one I thought of when you said that was Titanic. Could you imagine being?
Oh my God!
Like the ocean all around
that would be
you.
Cool.
You're getting splashed, and you're going down. I mean, my God, that would be incredible.
It'd be crazy.
Well, how about? I mean, they've done like the UFC had an event there. The NHL draft was there. It looked awesome. Like that's another thing is like sporting events. Can we get an NBA game there? An All-Star weekend there would be. I don't know. That would be kind of cool.
I don't know if it's set up for like a basketball court.
You don't think it's big enough?
I don't think so. No.
Okay. So I don't know. Then probably not. But I don't know. That's my first thought is how can we live events be taken here?
Well, there's going to be more and more of these built for sure. I think it's Dolan, the New York Knicks owner, that funded it all, and I think they're going to be putting them all over the country probably. So it's a great thing. And think about it. $100 a ticket or whatever. That's a huge moneymaker. But it's
for sure.
It's well worth it.
That's for movie. Like concerts are 500 probably. I mean,
maybe,
like the Eagles when they were there.
Right.
Yeah, that's just to see the Wizard of Oz. It's probably a few $100 more to see a concert.
Absolutely. All right, let's take one more short break and come back with Tedertainment Tonight and wrap this thing up. All right, I'll start it, guys. I don't know if you have anything for Tedertainment Tonight, but I got a couple things. Just today, we're recording on Monday night. Robert Duvall, a legend, dead at 95. I mean, he was in some of the greatest movies of all time and one of the greater actors of all time. Godfather, Apocalypse Now. He made his debut in To Kill a Mockingbird in 1962. Never said a word in that movie, but it was an intense acting performance. Gone at 95. I mean, that's a good full life, but he was a great actor for sure.
He was. And when you start going down, some of those actors that aren't like the names like an Al Pacino or something, but like when you look at his lineup of movies, he's in so many good movies, even if it wasn't like a major role. One of mine I always bring up during Christmas time is his role in Four Christmases.
I agree. We just saw that not too long ago.
He is so good in that movie. So funny as Vince Vaughn's dad, but that's a sad
Wrestling Brothers.
Plays kind of a similar hard ass in a movie that I saw in theaters when I was a kid, Kicking and Screaming with Will Ferrell, where he's like his stepdad or it is his actual dad who's like the opposing coach. He's in The Godfather too.
Yeah.
He's a good actor. I'm with you. I didn't even know that he passed away. I didn't even see that. He's a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. Now I got a little story for you guys. So we're on our trip, right? And we're going to wrap up our trip with the last night in Las Vegas. And during the trip, different periods, the girls would say, well, I really want to go see this show in Las Vegas. And Joe and I are going, really? I don't think so. So they're talking about it. So we're in the desert and we decide we're going to go see this show. Now, Matt will know who this is. I don't even know if Jared will even know who this is. Donny Osmond.
God, no.
Okay.
Who is that?
I'm going to tell you guys, Joe and I weren't all that gung-ho about it. But
because they used to do was it a husband-wife thing that they used to do?
Her sister, Donnie and Marie.
Okay, Donnie and Marie, right.
Yeah. Well, get this. These are some facts. He had 33 gold records. He had over 100 million albums sold. Think about that. He's 67 years old. He won Dancing with the Stars. He starred on Broadway. I didn't know all this stuff. This show was the greatest Las Vegas type show I have ever seen. It was amazing. You know, you think of Vegas, you think of Wayne Newton, you think of Frank Sinatra, you think of, I don't know, Celine Dion nowadays, right. Adele. I think for the money, this was just an unbelievable show. He comes out, he has 10 dance. He has, first of all, he has a 5-piece top-notch band behind him. He has 10 dancers behind him. He comes out, makes this grand entrance. He's in the middle. He starts out with this song. He's dancing around, singing, and then he goes through his entire career. He has this rap song he sings with film in the background from when he was 6 years old all the way up to current time. They went through his whole history. And then he had a 20-minute segment where he went into the crowd and asked for requests. Any out of his 65 albums, right? Any song people were requested, his band would play, he'd sing for a minute or so. It was unbelievable. And I know you guys think it's funny, or especially Jared. I couldn't get over how great this show was.
Did he sing I'll Make a Man Out of You, Disney's Mulan? I know that song.
Yes, he sang some of that. Yeah. He was in a play on Broadway, Joseph in the Technicolor Coat. It was an Andrew Lloyd Webber play written by him, the music. He sang a song from that. This is today's day and age. You guys will get a kick out of this, with AI nowadays. So they had up in the corner little Donny Osmond at 14 years old, and he's having a conversation with him. He's talking to him. And what they actually did is they clipped him actually talking when he was 14 and put this conversation together. And it's obviously rehearsed, right. But this AI version of Donny Osmond and Donnie today having this chat back and forth. And then Donnie, his voice is not like it was when he was a 14-year-old. So they have little Donny Osmond singing Puppy Love, this song with a real high voice, and Donnie nowadays singing a duet with him. It was incredible. So
see, that's what I mean. You got to be open. There's what's that movie, Jim Carrey, Yes Man? You got to be open to some experiences like that. Because imagine if you would have said, no, we're not doing that.
Well, you know how I was talking about being kind and nice to people, at the Super Bowl party. So we walk in, and again, another boomer comment by Ted. So we walk in and I see a bunch of what do you call it? The foam rubber things you put in your earplugs, right?
Oh, right.
And I said, yeah, I heard this show. I'm talking to this guy. Yeah, I heard this show's kind of loud. I think I'm going to grab some of those just in case. And it was booming music, but I grab them. We bought the cheapest tickets you could get in, $78 to get in. And we're sitting at the back. And it's only a 550 person venue, so there's not a bad seat in the place, but we would have had to sit at a table with for 6. There's 4 of us. There already was one lady there, so I sat down. I said, hey, I'll sit here by myself, you 3 can sit on this side. So I sit down, and the guy I was talking to about the earplugs comes over, taps me on the shoulder, takes us down, primo seats, a 4-person booth, front and center, basically, man. Unbelievable. So that was awesome. You treat people nice, sometimes they'll treat you nice. That's just my little moral of the day. But I will tell you guys this. I was talking about it earlier. The price in Vegas to buy things. Oh, yeah. Cocktail at this show was $25.
Dude, it's crazy. It's crazy.
$20 for a beer. Okay. Like I think it was a 16-ounce beer, $20. Bottled water, $10. So
that's insane.
If you go to one of those shows, you might want to just get your refreshments taken out of the way beforehand, or be ready to spend it. That's all.
Or be ready to spend it. That's crazy. Sounds like a fun show, though.
It really was. I think if your parents listen to this podcast, they'll get a kick out of it. I mean, Donny Osmond, who'd have thunk? But he's a legend, man. Right. An absolute legend.
That's crazy. 65 albums is insane.
Yeah, 65 albums and 100 million he sold. It's unreal.
That's great. So the generation thing. There was an episode of Full House,
right,
with Donnie and Marie. So that's one of my memories of Donnie and Marie was the episode of Full House.
Yeah, it seems like he was kind of guest spotting on every show. As I was looking at his Wikipedia, Hannah Montana, Full House. Yep. That seemed maybe how he paid the bills for a while, or he's just likable. Everybody loves him.
Well, it's funny. He when he was young, real young, him and Michael Jackson were the 2 people, right? The Jackson 5 and the Osmonds, and they were both about the same age. Right. And so their songs sounded alike back in those days. You'd go, is that the Osmonds or is that the Jacksons? I'm going way back. But there was a song called Ben that Michael Jackson sang. I don't know if you remember that one.
Mm-mm.
Anyway, it was offered to Donny Osmond first. He talked about that. So there's a lot of similarities between the two, but I mean, obviously Donny Osmond, clean living, Mormon lifestyle, been with the same wife forever. He's lived, to be now 67. He's in good health. He's dancing up there on the stage. It was awesome. The two highlights for my whole trip were Yosemite and Donny Osmond. Good way to bookend everything.
Who would have thought?
That's all I have.
I got just one thing real quick. And then Matt, if you got anything, Night of the Seven Kingdoms, Game of Thrones latest show.
I'm curious.
It's maybe the best season of Game of Thrones that we've had. It's totally different vibe. I'll be honest. I didn't even realize it was airing. All of a sudden I saw on Twitter, like, oh, it's airing in 30 minutes when the first episode of this season dropped. Where now the season finale is this Sunday. It is a story about this guy, Sir Duncan the Tall, is like kind of a buffoon.
Right.
And then this little squire boy, Egg, who has a shaved head. It sounds stupid and it sounds like pretty small scale compared to the other Game of Thrones stuff, but it really is like the best writing and directing I've seen in Game of Thrones world. I
thought you were going to go the other way, so that's
no. It's this last episode, which is the Trial of the Seven. 9.9 like rating on whatever site they use. Like that's like the highest Game of Thrones episode ever. Like it was awesome. The kid actor who plays this egg guy is elite. The actor, the main guy, Dunk, Peter Claffey. I don't even think he had any acting training or acting experience whatsoever. He was a rugby player, and he's gonna be $1 million actor. Like he's amazing in this. This Ira Parker is the showrunner and kind of the maker of it. Like what he's doing, and apparently it's like on like 1/10 of the normal Game of Thrones budget, is like he's like the next big thing in writer. It's making me go, man, I wish this guy was the writer and showrunner of the other Game of Thrones shows. Like House of the Dragon, I still love, but it seems like it's maybe heading in a bad direction. Like if this guy was in charge of it, I'd have no worries about it. So this show is, it's blowing me away. I had no expectations. It's awesome.
Is it standalone? Is it standalone? I mean, could Matt start watching?
Yeah, you don't even need. Interest? I mean, like obviously, someone like there's the Targaryen family, there's the the Baratheon family or whatever, like that sort of stuff. It definitely adds to it, but no, it's right. It's a standalone story. I think it's the best thing in TV right now.
So Game of Thrones is becoming like Star Wars in a sense, where with like with the Mandalorian, and there's all these other like spin-off series, I guess.
Yeah, and that's why I thought this wasn't gonna be good. This is like kind of really the first legit one. I mean, House of the Dragon's kind of a whole nother Game of Thrones, is what I would call it. This is like actually kind of like a small like Mandalorian type story, and it's just as good as Game of Thrones. Like this season has been A+. I'm telling you, this kid, you love these two main guys. This Duncan the Tall actor is amazing, and this kid is like the cutest kid ever. Like they nailed it. It's a very good show.
Definitely checking that one out.
Nice. Yeah, we're kind of catching. We've been watching like the same HGTV shows that we watch all the time, and like all these other shows. So nothing too new on our TV watching front.
Well, if you do get a chance, my recommendation stands still on HBO, The Pit. It's phenomenal.
I keep seeing the promos for that. I need to do that.
I think your wife and you would both enjoy that one. I mean, it's really intense, but it's really good.
Yeah.
All right. I think we did it. Back from vacation. We're back at it, guys. We're closing in on 400 podcasts. Hard to believe, isn't it?
What number are we at tonight?
396.
Yeah, that's pretty insane.
Yeah, it'd probably be
man.
Right in the middle of March Madness, right? We'll be hitting 400, I think.
Perfect.
It'll be right around Big Ten tournament time, probably, or right about that time.
Sounds good. All right, well, let's wrap this one up. We, as always, are brought to you by Memorial Healthcare's Wellness Center. Get in shape. Follow the Wellness Center on Facebook and download the Wellness Center app. Also helping us out, AZee Branding Solutions, ALS of Michigan, Blackstone's Public House, Great Lakes Apparel Company, Jacobs Insurance Agency, Kori Shook and Associates Real Estate Services, Nelson House Funeral Homes, Nichols Painting, Success Group Mortgage and Servicing, Shiawassee County Fair, and our next Z92.5 Game of the Week, the regular season finale already in high school basketball in Michigan, coming up Friday, February 20th, 7 o'clock, Traverse City Central at St. John's. Peace and love, everybody. Hey, I was talking about it in the podcast. Be kind, and thanks for listening.